Dr. Jared Pello here. I want to talk to you a little bit about mistakes made when trying to change habits. This is going to be somewhat of an uncomfortable video for me because I'm going to share with you mistakes I've made over the years. And I still make mistakes. And one of the most uncomfortable things for me being kind of in front of you and guiding you through this path is I'm human. And if you tried to emulate me, you would think this guy's not perfect. He's not doing it the right way. And sometimes I'm not. And so I'm going to share with you some of the ways that I've made mistakes in the past and ways that I still make mistakes. So James Clear and BJ Fogg kind of list a few different things that people do as they make mistakes. I'm going to start with number one for me, which is starting too big. So many times, mostly as a younger man, but so many times I would set out a goal, I'm going to run a marathon, or I'm going to do, I'm going to run every day. I'm going to exercise every day, or whatever it was. I'm going to bench 300 pounds by, 2 months from now. Whatever the goal was, it was too big. And I didn't break it down to steps. I didn't work on it little by little, and I failed. One of the things that I always wanted to do was be a runner. And I would say every year I would start running, and every year after a week or two, I would stop. And I would tell people that I hated running and that I wasn't a runner, that I just didn't have the body to be a runner, that I couldn't be a runner. During COVID, when, we're in lockdown and I wanted to find a way to spend some time outside, I started to run again. And I did it differently this time. I did really small runs and I did really slow runs. And what I'd always tried in the past was I'd tried to run as fast as I did when I was 20 or when I was 15. And what I decided instead was that I would walk and I would run and I would walk and I would run and I would make it enjoyable. And I did those things. And, a couple weeks ago, I did my Spartan Beast, which is a 21K, a half marathon with 30 obstacles. And I only got there after, that's 3.5 years of really slow, small changes. So rule number one, don't start too big. Don't start with the Spartan Beast is what you're going to do. Start with, I'm going to run a little bit every day. So, okay, that's number one. Number two for me, focusing on the goals, not the systems. So again, very often in my life, I have focused on the end goal. Whether that, and often these are around kind of health things for me, whether that is, I want to lose 30 pounds. I don't want to lose 30 pounds right now, but in the past, I carried much too much fat, unhealthy weight on my body. And I spent, just like most of us in America, doing diets, slow carb diet, South Beach diet. And while those diets, they help you lose weight because you go into calorie deficit, none of them were sustainable. And so I really had to focus on a system that worked for me. And some of those systems that I've used are good in the short term and not the long term. Like tracking calories for me day in, day out, it works, but it's not something I can do long term. Now what I do is I do the 800 gram challenge where I eat, as close to 800 grams of fruits and vegetables as possible. And I try to hit my protein goal, which is 150 to 200 grams of protein per day. I do those two things, and then I try not to eat too much sweets. That's it. So, but that's the system I use to maintain a healthy weight. Now, should you do that? Maybe, but what you should do is focus on whatever system it is that you're going to use for your healthy eating, your exercise, your sleeping, whatever it is. Focus on the system, not necessarily the goal. You'll achieve amazing things if you focus on the system and not the goal. All right, number three, ignoring the environment. I'll give you one of my examples. I want to sleep better. And I go intermittently through an amazing job at putting my phone to bed downstairs away from my bed. But, if my wife travels and I think, hey, I better keep the phone by my bed so that I don't miss her call. And then I'll find myself sleeping with the phone 6 months later next to my bed, and I'm not sleeping as good. But environment makes a difference. Like just moving my plug downstairs so I can't plug my phone in next to my bed, that makes a difference. Making sure I have healthy foods in my house, making sure I hang out with people who also want to be healthy. Like all of those things make a difference. And ignoring your environment, like, putting yourself in a place where there's sweets all the time, or, having your computer and your phone next to your bed, whatever the environment is that you want to change, don't ignore it. Think about that. All right. Next one, neglecting the role of emotions. Many of us want to pretend that we are robots and that we don't have emotions and that we're not driven by those emotions. But the truth is we're humans. And even the most cold, calculating of us, we probably are just ignoring emotions. We think we don't have emotions, but we are absolutely driven by emotions. And we need to not neglect that. And it's powerful for both reasons. It's powerful because emotions can help us make great decisions. Emotions can be inspiring. We can build on positive emotion and negative emotion, and past emotions that we don't feel or work through will hold us back and make it so that we can't change in the ways that we need to. Next one, overlooking simplicity. This goes a little bit to the too big. It goes a little bit into the system. But first thing you need to do when you think about something you're going to change, an action you're going to change, is simplify. Make it more simple. And so if that habit that you want is to, the system that you're putting into place is to spend more time outside, then make it real simple. Make it simple to go outside. Make it simple to, one thing that my wife has done, which is amazing, is she does a great job getting early morning sun, and she's made it super, comfortable. She has a nice seat on the front porch, which I wish we had sun on the back porch, but that's not the way our house faces. But she has a nice seat. She has her hot drink, and she sits that out there, reads her inspiring words for the day, and she's made it really simple. And she's used a lot of those other tools that we talked about when building tools and when building habits, as far as, she's made it attractive and enjoyable and all those good things. So don't overlook simplicity. Whenever you're thinking about what you're going to change, just think, how can I make this more simple? How can I make it more simple? All right. And then the last one is lack of specificity. And this kind of ties back to the simplicity, is you need to get super specific about what you want to do, what you want to change. And so if it is, I want to eat more fruits and vegetables, get super specific. If I leave it at, I just want to eat more fruits and vegetables, almost nothing happens. I might eat a salad for a day. But if I say, and this is what I do because I love apples, and so I eat 2 apples a day and I eat a handful of carrots, and that gives me 400 grams of fruits and vegetables in a day to start. And I'm halfway on my journey to 800 grams. And so just get really specific about what you're going to do in your system, the habit you're going to change. Now, I've made that mistake of just saying, like, I'm going to exercise more, or I'm going to sleep more, or I'm going to eat more fruits and vegetables. And when I don't get super specific, I fail at it. So again, kind of an uncomfortable video for me to share my humanness, but I am human. And as you get to know me, as you get to know my team, we're all just humans trying to help other humans achieve their optimal health. And we can do this together, and we won't always do it perfectly. And that's absolutely fine, because just like I talked about with growth mindset, we're not yet where we want to be. That's okay. We'll just keep working at it. We'll keep making progress. So until next time, have fun on your journey.